If you're a cat owner, I'm sure you've been there. You're looking at a full bowl of fresh water and then at your cat who's acting like it doesn't exist. It is so frustrating, right? But what if I told you it's not just your cat being picky? Nope. This is something much deeper, a powerful instinct that we really need to understand. So let's get right into it.
So let me just ask you straight up. Are you absolutely positive your cat is drinking enough water? Because here's the thing, the signs that there's a problem are often totally invisible. Until it's way too late. This is one of those critical parts of their health where we, as their people, have to be super proactive.
And this all goes back to their DNA, their evolution. We're not just dealing with some quirky little cat habit, we are up against thousands of years of genetic programming. Understanding where they come from, their desert DNA, is the absolute key to solving this very modern crisis for our cats.
Just think about it. Their ancestors were desert hunters, right? In a place with almost no standing water, they had to adapt, and they did. They evolved to get pretty much all the hydration they needed, we're talking like 70% of it, straight from their prey. Mice, birds, that sort of thing. And because of that, they just never developed a strong thirst drive. They don't feel thirsty the way a person or a dog does. It's just not wired into them.
Okay, and here is where our modern world creates a huge problem. Just look at this contrast. Their ancestral diet was packed with moisture, but today, the staple for so many of our cats is dry kibble, which has, less than 10% water? That creates this massive ongoing water deficit that their weak little thirst drive just can't keep up with. They're not going to make up that difference at the water bowl, no way.
So yeah, this is not a small issue. This constant, low-level dehydration is a really serious silent threat to our cat's health. It's something we absolutely cannot afford to ignore.
And the stakes? They couldn't be higher. That number 1 on your screen? That's the ranking for kidney failure as the leading cause of death for our cats. And the main driver behind this horrible disease is chronic dehydration. It just puts this unbelievable, constant strain on their kidneys, year after year. And you want to know the truly terrifying part? Cats are absolute masters at hiding when they're sick. The really obvious signs of kidney disease, like being super thirsty all of a sudden or losing weight, those things often don't even show up until more than 75% of their kidney function is already gone forever. By then, the damage is irreversible, and that is why prevention is literally everything.
So what can you do at home? Okay, here are 3 quick checks. First, the skin test. Gently lift the skin between their shoulder blades. In a well-hydrated cat, it'll snap right back down. If it kind of slowly sinks back down, that is a major red flag. Second, check their gums. They should feel nice and wet, kind of slick. If they feel sticky or dry, your cat needs water fast. And third, just keep an eye on their weight. Any sudden drop could be a sign they're dehydrated.
But let's be crystal clear about this. These at-home checks, they're for spotting emergencies. If you're seeing any of these signs, it probably means your cat is already well past just being a little thirsty. This isn't a wait-and-see situation. It's time to call the vet right away. Seriously, don't wait.
Okay, I know that was the heavy stuff, but here's the good news. We can totally fix this. So let's pivot to the solutions. Let's talk about how to create the absolute perfect drinking environment for your cat, because some really simple changes can make a world of difference.
First up, we have to talk about the secret enemy lurking in the water bowl, biofilm. You know that slick, slimy feeling on the inside of the bowl, even when it looks clean? Yeah, that's not just spit. It's a living colony of bacteria, literally a bacteria soup. And it makes the water taste and smell disgusting to your cat, whose sense of smell is way, way better than ours.
So how do we kill it? Just rinsing the bowl does nothing. You have to physically scrub it every single day with a sponge and soap until that slimy feeling is completely gone. Second, the bowl itself matters. Ditch the plastic bowls. They get tiny scratches that become little hotels for bacteria. You gotta switch to ceramic, stainless steel, or glass. And if you've got a fountain, you need to take that whole thing apart once a week and scrub every single piece, including the motor.
So let's just quickly break down the options. Ceramic and glass are fantastic. Easy to clean, no weird smells, but, they can break. Stainless steel is super hygienic, really durable, though some cats, believe it or not, get weirded out by their own reflection. And plastic, look, it's cheap, I get it, but the risk of it holding on to bacteria and causing problems like cat acne, it's just not worth it.
Now, beyond the bowl itself, where you put it is critical. You want to use wide, shallow bowls so their super sensitive whiskers aren't constantly bumping the sides. That's a real thing called whisker fatigue, and they hate it. Put out multiple water stations in quiet spots around the house.
And this next one is huge. Keep the water far away from their food and especially from their litter box. In the wild, a water source near a kill or a toilet means it's contaminated. That instinct is still there.
All right, now let's get to the really powerful stuff. Let's talk about how to hack your cat's water intake by changing what they eat and how their water is presented. These are the real game changers.
This, right here, is without a doubt the single most effective change you can make, period. By switching your cat from dry kibble to wet food, or even just adding some wet food in, you take their meal's moisture from under 10% all the way up to around 75%. This is the closest you can get to their natural ancestral diet. You're hydrating them with every single bite they take.
So how much do they actually need every day? Okay, here's a really simple formula. Take your cat's weight in kilograms and multiply it by somewhere between 40 and 60. So for a 3-kilo cat, that's about 120 to 180 milliliters of water a day. And remember, that total includes the water they get from their food. You can see how much easier it is to hit that goal when their food is already 75% water.
And hey, beyond their diet, there are plenty of other cool tricks you can use. A water fountain is great because it mimics fresh, running water, which their instincts tell them is safer to drink. You can add a little splash of unsalted chicken broth or the juice from a can of tuna to make it irresistible. Try different temperatures, and for a little fun, toss an ice cube in the bowl. Some cats love batting it around, and they get a little water every time they do.
Now, a really quick but incredibly important point. We're so focused on getting them to drink more, but if you suddenly notice your cat is drinking a ton more water, like they're suddenly obsessed with the water bowl, that is also a massive warning sign. It can be a symptom of advanced kidney disease or even diabetes, so you need to get them to the vet right away.
So as we start to wrap this up, let's just zero in on the most important takeaway here. When it comes to preventing dehydration and all the terrible diseases it can cause, your daily care, your proactive attention is their absolute best line of defense.
I really want this to sink in. Something as simple as picking the right kind of bowl and taking 30 seconds a day to really scrub it clean, that's not just another chore on your to-do list. That is preventative medicine. It is one of the easiest, cheapest, and most powerful things you can possibly do to protect your cat.
And so, I'll leave you with a question. After hearing all of this, what is the one single change you're going to make for your cat starting today? Are you going to scrub that bowl? Are you going to move it away from the food? Maybe you'll pick up a can of wet food on the way home. Whatever it is, their long-term health might just depend on it.